yes, indeed. Let's kick off right here into the Elimination Chamber. We had the very first women's Elimination Chamber match. Bayley versus Mickie James versus Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose versus the women's champion for Raw, Alexa Bliss. So we had in this match, I believe it was Bayley and Sonya, right? Bayley and Sonya that started off.
Yes,
And
Bayley and Sonya Deville started the match.
yep. And basically for this, it was pretty just standard action coming in. And after that, Mandy Rose came in, and it became clear that, yeah, I was laughing. I was like, oh, I was like, Bayley done effed up now. She know what's coming for the next 5 minutes. He just knew it. And Bayley basically has to try and weather the storm. I said in our Royal Rumble review that I love the strategy of teammates actually trying to break down all the opponents and everything. And I like this here. They were toying around with her, so I was like, I wish there would have been some more urgency in the psychology. Like, try to finish off Bayley as quick as possible, get your rests in so you can dominate the next ones. So before we get into the next part, what did you think about as we got the first 3 women in the match? How'd you like the psychology just basically so far with the Absolution teaming up on Bayley?
What did I think about that? I thought Absolution looked like a couple of dopes. I'm sorry, they look like a couple of henchmen. Wearing all white like that. They come out there. They look like
for
they
bidding.
huh?
Doing the greater good for Paige's bidding.
The greater good, man. They look like they're a couple of female Doctor Evil henchmen. That's what the fuck they look like. They look like a couple of henchmen for Doctor Evil, except for their females. I mean, come on now. But where's the part where Austin Powers' dad says, "Come on now, you don't even have a name tag. You know how many henchmen I've taken out? Just lay down, play dead. Come on now." That's what they look like. That's what they look like. They look like a couple of silly looking henchmen. So,
Yeah, I noticed
You
they
know
were
what I mean?
wearing all white tonight and everything.
Basically, putties from Power Rangers. Come on now.
I meant I like the psychology, and then you had Sasha come in, and Bayley and Sasha basically sort of becomes a tag team match or tornado style tag team match inside the chamber, and I think from here one of them got eliminated, wasn't it? It was I'm trying to remember.
It's Mandy Rose.
Did she get eliminated before or after Mickie came in?
She was the first one eliminated.
Yeah, I know. And I think Corey Graves mentioned she was the first eliminated from both the Royal Rumble and the Elimination Chamber for the women. So that's going to be on her resume as the first woman to be eliminated from both those historical matches. Wow.
Wrecked.
Wow. Like
Wrecked. REKT. Wrecked. Fuck out of here.
So yeah, and then basically, I thought they were gonna try and have like all 3, like Bayley, Sasha, and Mickie, all try to team up on Absolution. But yeah, Sonya was the next one out, and I think that's because I forget who were eliminated. Sorry guys, we're just giving our initial thoughts. I forgot who eliminated. You remember who eliminated Sonya?
Shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I think it was. I think it was Bayley. I'm not sure.
I don't remember. I think it was. Oh yeah. That's right. Because Mickie James did the cool spot where she went on top of the chamber pod and jumped all the way off and did sort of like that slam where she goes for like a Uthes press, and that's how she pinned Sonya. So that actually was a really cool spot, and it was cool to see Mickie take such a big risk and everything. So yeah, that was really cool. Spectacular fashion. They gave Mickie James that moment. And then after that, let's see.
They snatched that bitch up quick. They went some Bayley to belly.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what happened right there.
Mickey.
Yep, she got that snatched the fuck up. It
Well,
was
hey,
like,
man,
yeah, it's gone.
Well, hey man, you called Mickey. I mean, you called Absolution. Said they look like a bunch of henchmen in there, and they got dealt with quickly.
They look like a couple of female putties. I'm sorry, they just do. You know what I mean? A couple of cyber women. You know.
Oh boy, where's the Linux virus when you need him in order to start doing the Cyberman little screeching noise? He's really good at doing that. All right, but hey, no, for real though, I'm very happy for the Absolution girls because, like I said, I saw them on Tough Enough, so for them to be a part of history, it had to be a pretty good, big deal for them. So hopefully, bigger and brighter things look for them in the future, as opposed to poor Mandy being known as the first woman to lose in the next whatever historic women matches. But I think they've done everything they could now, so it's just going to be women's matches going forward. Basically at the end here, it comes down to the best friends Bayley and Sasha, and Alexa Bliss had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and it was clear to see where this is going.
Wait. Let me say it. Alexa Bliss was going nowhere.
pretty much. She went out the other side. I liked it. I thought it was hilarious. She trying to climb up the up one side of the chamber, and they just kept meeting her everywhere. And then we had the moment where they meet her on the other pods, and Bayley looks like she's struggling to get on the other pod, and Sasha's like, "Let me help you," and then boom, kicked her right in the face. Someone I saw on Twitter said it reminded them of Scar and
Oh no.
when he was like, "Long live the king."
No.
Fans are popping loud for this. Like Sasha had made a heel turn, but and they were viciously going at it. Like Sasha, she definitely wasn't throwing air mutt holes that people were making fun of her for back at the Rumble. Like, man, she was hammering Bayley pretty hard. It was just a good sell job of it. I liked Bayley coming back, and she started stuffing some mud holes in Sasha. And then
this is the weekend of friends going at it.
Yeah, really, it really was. But I would have preferred the strategy. Once again, they do this all the time. I felt I would have loved the psychology of Bayley and Sasha teaming up and until Alexa's is done. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us knew Alexa was winning, right? But
Alexa wins.
Yeah, as we get to the climax of this, we had got some really good action going on between Sasha and Bayley. Like they're just trying to kill each other for this opportunity, and I believe we had even a really good sequence in the match that I really enjoyed. I'm trying to think what it was. I think Sasha. She was trying to go for the move. Like I think she ran towards Bayley. It was something along the lines where Bayley caught her, and you thought she was going for a running power slam or something. There was some sort of exchange they did in the turnbuckle. But I know at the end, I think Bayley drove Sasha into the turnbuckle from there. We even saw Sasha go on. I think it was the top rope. She did a frog splash on her. It was a splash. It was a splash. If we're gonna do a frog splash of the night in the Elimination Chamber, then our man Seth Rollins takes the cake there, and we'll get to that later.
Yep.
But it's cool. Sasha gave props. Always showing love.
That wasn't a frog splash. That was a toad splash. Fuck out of here with that shit.
But let's see. From there, I believe Sasha. Didn't it Sasha? I think, or no, was it Alexa that pinned up Bayley? I think it was. I know we're trying to remember all the details here.
She rolled her up and pinned her, and then she pinned Sasha in order to win the match.
Yeah, they were trying to do something where Sasha was trying to. I think she was gonna go up to the pod to do a big move, and Alexa Bliss banged her head into the plastic. Was it the plexiglass? And then got the DDT and won.
Plexiglass.
And I think
that shit.
What is that they actually use?
Shit, Candy Glass, aka Sugar Glass.
Well, if it was sugar glass, it would have exploded. Oh man, I know in the original Elimination Chamber wasn't that Eric Bischoff? Bulletproof glass designed to punish the human body. And then somebody, the first person, who was the first person in Elimination Chamber history that ever went through one of those things? Was
I
it
think it was Chris
Jericho?
Jericho.
Chris Jericho? Yeah. Like, me and my stepdad were like, bullet glass can't break that easily now, can
But
it?
then again, this is Chris Jericho. What I mean. Chris Jericho is a man who is that incredibly tough that can go through there. You have to know. You
Yeah,
have to know that.
that would mean Jericho invented going through the pod chamber glass, whatever, whatever it's called.
The
Um,
Elimination Chamber pod class.
yeah, he
But
invented it,
yeah,
as he has invented so many more things in the wrestling business. But I digress to the ending of this match. Alexa Bliss, I thought, put on a great performance where she could tell she's very emotionally worked up, and the fans are cheering, "You deserve it" and stuff. I already know where this is going, and she did a
I'm
very
like,
good job
yeah.
going back into heel mode, and yeah, I would say it was pretty decent. I mean, it's not too much different than what you're going to get through most of the Elimination Chamber matches nowadays, with the limitations of where they have to tone down the violence. So not too much different. I thought it was pretty decent for what it was. It was decent. And I knew
hmm
Alexa Bliss was going to win. And probably she should have win.
Yeah. Alexa Bliss reminds me of Princess from the Powerpuff Girls.
Hey, you know what? This is a good time. Oh, it's a good reference, man.
Shit.
Hey, what do you think about Alexa Bliss? Because I remember 2 years ago you always were talking about, screw those facial expressions that everyone's saying, and she reminds you of a Trish Stratus wannabe. Have you warmed up to Alexa Bliss now a little bit, or you still feel the same?
You said warmed up. Uh, no, I haven't. I've gained
Okay.
some personal respect for her, but in terms of her on-screen and in-ring character, no, I haven't. I don't see the appeal of this girl. I mean, the only thing she is talk on the mic, which is a good thing. It's a great component of the game, but you also gotta have, you also gotta be able to put it together in the ring. And everything she does is so basic. It looks like it looks like you're going into a fast food restaurant, and the person is just putting in the bare bones, bare minimum kind of job, and that they putting your fries inside the little fry basket, they're making your burger on a little griddle, and they just giving it to you, and that's they're just giving it to you while trying to be charismatic about it, and that's that. I mean, it's still the same fucking burger that I eat, but y'all gonna package it pretty like this, You know what
I,
I'm
I
saying?
think I think it's the character aspect of Alexa Bliss, because she is so well with her facial expressions and the way she delivers on the mic. I think that
Fuck them
probably
facial expressions.
I think it distracts a lot of people though, from her in ring work, and that's the reason why. It's one of those things where the character gets people gets caught up into the character and the delivery of how the character is portrayed, that they end up forgetting about the in ring ability. Um,
'Cause she
I'll admit
got she
myself,
has very
I
little
don't,
or no kind of
I don't,
psychology in the ring.
yeah, I don't think
Where's
Alexa
the
Bliss is the
storytelling at?
I mean, like, I don't think Alexa Bliss is the best in the ring though, but I will consider myself a fan. But I do get where you're saying you would like to see the whole package. It'd be good if she can get her wrestling ring on par with where she is as a character, and her
It's
facial
not.
expressions can
It's not
deliver,
even.
right?
It's not even just that. It's not even just the wrestling ring or anything. She just needs to get out there, and she just needs to be able to feel the audience's energy,
Hmm.
and be able to use that. So I know, yeah, you can't use what you know, in terms of in terms of being able to get through that. But she needs to get her in ring skills on point, and she needs to get her psychology on point. She has to get out there. She has to be able to put on the matches that need to be put on when when you're at that level. You
Well,
can't be.
hey, dude, I would like to ask you this question since you're going on about this with Alexa Bliss. Do you feel she was the right woman to go over, or do you think there was a better option between one of the Absolution girls, Mickey, Sasha, or Bayley, to put the women's title, knowing the direction that it's been rumored of where they're going for WrestleMania?
Man, I think they should put the title back on Bayley, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything that I see right here, because everything I see right here is a big waste of time. Yeah, it's a big ass waste of time. I mean, you have Absolution out there. They're a waste of time. They don't have Paige at the helm. They're not there to help Paige become champion. So what's their use? Don't know. Don't care. Let's see.
They
Go
needed
put
some bodies in this
go,
match, but I agree. It'd be too
go
soon to put the titles on either one of them. Let them
come on,
first
be
develop some
deleted. Let's
more.
see. Let's see. Now be deceased. The next person. Next person. I'm gonna go ahead and the next person. You got Sasha Banks in this match. I mean, unless she's a heel, unless she's doing something interesting. I mean, come on now. Why would you put her in this match? And then the next body you got in this match is Mickey James. I mean, unless you have either her or Bayley winning the title, why even put them in this match? I mean, I guess you need bodies, but you know what I mean. You
And it
could have
needs some
put,
star
could
power recognition.
you know, what I mean, why not put it on them? Bayley's career definitely needs this jump start. It definitely does. She's the freaking, she could have been the future way for the women's wrestling revolution in WWE, and that's the truth.
Dude,
Yeah,
I agree with a lot of these women could have been booked a lot better, especially with these particular three. Mickey James is a legend, and they always mention she's a trailblazer. They said it tonight, she's a trailblazer, but give some more, if you're gonna go that direction, actually, make her mean a lot more than what they've done. They've kind of just got her, almost there, like the nostalgia act and everything. Like,
she's
and I understand
basically a
she's probably
job girl.
she's there to, I know, to probably mentor the younger women now, but yeah, that's the one reason I couldn't see Mickey James winning this. Sasha and Bayley would be interesting options, but I felt like WWE, the way they've booked them, especially with Sasha being what they would say she would have became a 5th-time women's champion tonight, but it's like, what, just to lose it on Monday Night Raw the next night? Like, man, I would be very interested if they've done Sasha versus Bayley several times now on Monday Night Raw since they both came to the main roster, and I would actually like to see an actual program that reaches the epicness of their two big matches at the NXT takeovers in NXT. But the thing is, if there's a program where Sasha goes heel finally and goes up against babyface Bayley, that would be good. But I kind of would like to see them go off in their own program, but I wasn't sure with the way they've been booked up to this point if they were really viable options. And then, like I said, the Absolution girls, they're I think it's too soon for them. So I kind of had to be like, at this point, you might as well go with Alexa Bliss. It just sucks that they had not let her defend the title so long up to this point. So
I'm like, she was a big ass duck.
yeah. Now, there's one thing I do want to say before we move on here. Alexa Bliss. I don't know if you were a fan of this, but I thought it was cool. She did the twisted bliss from the top of the chamber. To me, that was the spot of the match, top spot that happened in the match. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. Are you even a fan of the twisted bliss from the top of the cage or the top of the pod?
I don't know. Is Vince McMahon 100% honest at all points in time?
That pretty much says it all then.
Okay.
Oh man. Well, let's move on to a match that I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I felt was just there. We had the Bar defending their WWE Raw Tag Team Champions against Titus O'Neil and Apollo now, and they were representing,
No
of course,
Cruz. No
yeah,
Cruz, man.
they were representing what, Laura? The man 0001.
Worldwide. Titus Worldwide. Yep, that's
Yeah.
what they were doing.
I don't think there's not much really went on in this match. It was your standard, typical tag team match you would see on a
Heels
Monday
and
Night
faces.
Raw.
Yeah, it was a stereotypical heels and faces tag team match.
It started picking up a little bit in the end, but that, like I said, that's almost every standard Raw. Like, it kind of just feels like it's just there for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then that last couple of minutes action picks up, and it's like, yeah. And I think we saw
Mm-hmm.
the way this was coming. The Bar, I admit, because the Bar would have been champion several times, and I don't even know if they were supposed to be champions at this route, because I'm pretty sure the Shield reunion was supposed to go on a lot longer. I wouldn't have mind if they put the title on Titus Worldwide. I would have been okay
Mm-hmm.
with it. But they didn't go in that direction. But they're not they don't just set the bar; they are the bar, right? So I'm cool with Sheamus and Cesaro retaining. Any thoughts on this match before we move on? You have any thoughts, the man 0001?
Thoughts on what?
The match for the
The
Bar
match.
versus, yeah.
It was a match. It was, it started off with the heels attacking the faces, prototypical ass wrestling 101 tactics. And then, it ended. And, again, Bar does it again. They don't set the bar, they are the bar. And they do it again. They get things done. So yeah, they did real good.
Yeah, it was pretty much.
In
And
the
then we go.
attention.
Yeah, now we move on to one of the big matches for this show. Asuka versus Nia Jax, which I think is their third match. I think they faced each other twice in NXT. Am I right? Am I right? Man 0001, you still there?
Yes, I am. I'm still here.
Yeah, they faced each other twice, didn't they? Nia Jax and Asuka in
I believe
NXT.
it's just three. I believe this is the fourth time.
Fourth time. Oh, okay, maybe I missed some, but yeah, the only Asuka had acknowledged this. This match was I would say pretty intense for the most part. You had Nia Jax really taking it to Asuka more so than even Ember Moon. I thought it's
Mm-hmm.
cool. You even had Nia Jax was going to break out the bonsai drop at one point. So yeah, it was a real big struggle for Asuka, but she ended up getting, I think, a really good roll up where she basically had Nia Jax down, and she got the pinfall. And then at the end of
Mm-hmm.
the match, they had Nia Jax immediately attack her and run her through the barricade so that she could basically be seen and kept up as Nia Jax could look strong. And to me, this was one of those things. Let's have Asuka win so that she looks strong, but then we'll have Nia Jax dominate and destroy her right afterwards, and that's basically what it comes down to. It's kind of like, if you're gonna go there, you might as well have Nia Jax win, but of course you can't do that because Asuka still should lose her streak when it would be big enough to make a big star or something like that. So it's like, I think more so WWE booking themselves into the corner, but at the end of the day, Nia Jax looked pretty strong. Before we move on to the next match, you got anything you like to add, man? 0001. Are you there, man? 0001. Man, 0001. Are you there? Huh. Well, hey, we're live, pal. Oh boy, it is at least over here in this neck of woods, Chicago time. It's 12:21 a.m. and apparently the man 0001 has fallen asleep while we are live on YouTube, and I can't go back and fix it. So yeah, right here in the middle. Let's see if we can go ahead and wake him up. I apologize, guys. Hope you're finding this entertaining. We can make it through the rest of the show. Maybe he fell asleep because this is what he thought about Elimination Chamber. He put him to sleep. Oh boy, let's see if I can wake him up through the magic of texting. You guys are experiencing him sleeping. Oh boy. Let's see if we can wake him up here. Yeah, I don't know if this happens. Usually, should it? Yo, wake up! We are live on YouTube. We are live, pal. Let's see if this wakes him up. You guys probably heard me send the text there. Is he gonna wake up? Is he gonna wake up? It looks like he's not, so I am probably see if I can get him out of here. You know what? I'm gonna have to go ahead and probably part two, man. So apparently what happened, obviously, if you watched it, the man 0001 just fell asleep and was snoring and couldn't wake him up. And I'm new to the whole Google Hangouts thing and just streaming in general on YouTube. And so I thought I muted the man 0001, and I went on and did a review and about 30 more minutes of the review. And then when I listened back, I realized, oh no, I muted myself and left, and all that can be left heard is the man 0001 snoring. Definitely hilarious moments. So that's the reason why there's a part two. I'm here to go ahead and give my thoughts again. So make sure to check out part one and part two. Now, moving on and continuing where we left off on part two. So you had the big Ronda Rousey contract signing, featuring Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon as well. So I'm gonna basically be honest. Very similar to this past Monday Night Raw, Asuka. I didn't know whose idea it was to put her out there. As we all know, Asuka, her English is not really strong, and as a result, it's best that whatever she says be kept to a minimum. And you heard the fans just start to almost sort of turn on Asuka, and it's like, eesh. But when she's in the ring and she's kicking butt, all the fans are for her. And, as Paul Heyman always says, you have to hide the weaknesses and build upon the strengths. And as Ronda Rousey was talking here, it was really cool how, she was pouring out her heart and emotion and everything for how excited she is to be a part of the WWE. And on top of that, you have it where she's giving showing a lot of love for Roddy Piper, but it was it was hard to really understand where the fans were trying to come at with here. I couldn't tell. Some were booing, some were cheering, and it sounded like a really mixed response. But when Ronda Rousey was mostly left to rely upon her actions, the crowd got really into this. So I'm going to say that I basically think Ronda Rousey is going to be the type of WWE performer that it's best to just let her actions speak for herself, or unless you put a mouthpiece with her like Paul Heyman. But hey, who knows? As Ronda, of course, gets more into the hang of things as a WWE superstar, she probably will develop more better on the mic, but and everything. You could tell though there was a lot of part of her that was nervous and everything, but I did like and appreciate that, saying how, she wants to earn the fans' respect and she doesn't want any special treatment. So that was pretty cool. But getting into the segment itself, things start to really get interesting and heading towards where we're seeing Ronda Rousey's role coming for WrestleMania. Kurt Angle and Triple H were having some weird exchange that got Ronda Rousey's attention, and from there, this is what basically prompted Kurt Angle to just start going on just basically airing out all of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon's dirty laundry about what they've been saying about Ronda behind closed doors in the storyline, of course. Talking about how they're going to own her now, and Stephanie saying she's a washed-up has-been, and Kurt Angle, when Triple H tries to escort Kurt Angle, and he even states something that Stephanie says she could take her herself. This is what gets Ronda Rousey really angry, and Ronda did a tremendous job just selling that face facial expression that we've seen so many times for those of us who followed her in UFC, knowing that face she would make as she walks to the ring, doing the BMF walk, to quote what Stone Cold Steve Austin would say. So basically, when Triple H gets in the ring, much props to him. Triple H takes a tremendous bump to put Ronda Rousey over, and the fans ate this up. And I was even in my seat after Stephanie slapped Ronda. I'm in here. The crowd is chanting, "You effed up, you effed up, you effed up," and I'm like, "Oh snap, yeah," because Ronda. Let's just go back to this bump Triple H took. Triple H was just basically like, I mean, I've seen Ronda's had the power to flip big guys over before. I've seen her, flip some big dudes over. So I don't doubt Ronda has the strength to take someone the size of Triple H and pick him up and slam him on the ground. But even if so, Triple H jumped up in the air and gave it some more extra dramatic flavor. This looked tremendous, and definitely the crowd was 100% by, like, when she was talking, the crowd was like, man, it was very mixed. But as soon as you got to the action and just Ronda just being in there, just being like her bad self, man, this is what really got Ronda over, and this is definitely, I think, the key moving forward. I thought it looked tremendous. It would have been nice if Stephanie would have gotten some comeuppance here, but of course they're not going to do this, and this is one of the things of why people respect Vince McMahon so much, because in terms of the performer, because Vince McMahon, say what you will, in the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, and even till this day we've seen with Kevin Owens, Vince McMahon is not afraid to go out there and take a butt kicking or be humiliated for the good of putting over the talent if it's going to help the story or business. And Stephanie was really good at doing that back in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. Now, not so much. It's very far and few in between. But hopefully we will get to see her comeuppance. I understand it. Maybe they want to go ahead and save the big moment for WrestleMania, so we'll have to wait. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out tonight on Monday Night Raw as Ronda Rousey makes her Monday Night Raw debut. But overall, I thought this was really good. It looks like we are definitely going in the direction of Kurt Angle teaming up with Ronda Rousey to take on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. How believable is it going to be for Stephanie McMahon and Ronda Rousey in the ring? And I heard that it's rumored that Ronda's brought in to try and help make Stephanie a mainstream star as opposed to one of their top current stars like Asuka, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, or the other women who are going to be in the ring on a week in and week out basis. But let's see how it turns out. Overall, I deem this a success. I do think it was a very good start to kick things off into high gear with Ronda Rousey going into WrestleMania. And I think now we have a good direction of whether what the strong suits of Ronda is and where she still has to work on and everything. So yeah, I definitely hope the best. In seeing Ronda Rousey, you can tell she's a fan, so that's a good thing. She's not some celebrity coming in here who doesn't know jack squat about the business. So that's really awesome. And I noticed she had a black jacket in tribute to Roddy Piper, but this one fit as she wasn't using his. And so that takes us to the main event of the night, which was the Elimination Chamber match to determine who will face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 for the WWE Universal Championship. So this match has Elias Samson versus The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus John Cena versus Roman Reigns, in which I believe is, as stated, the biggest Royal Rumble. I mean, the biggest Royal Rumble. I'm still stuck in last month. The biggest Elimination Chamber match in history, featuring 7 guys. So, in the entrances, 2 points. I do like Roman Reigns and The Miz, both coming out looking at their respective opponents in the pods, and Braun Strowman was really intense, and we're going to talk more about Braun Strowman in just a moment here. Braun Strowman was breathing so heavily on the glass, you could see him fogging up the Elimination Chamber pod. God. So with that said in mind, I thought it was a really hilarious. Miz is getting there. He's just taunting all the guys, and when he gets to Braun Strowman, Strowman like bams his forearms onto the what is that, the glass, and this is where Miz gets scared. But anyway, the match starts off with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and the Miz, and Miz is trying to do like the too sweet and join Balor, but to no avail. So eventually John Cena is released from his pod, and him and Rollins get into pushing each other, and this is one of the things I know people don't like about John Cena. It would have been better if John Cena would have sold this a little bit more seriously, as opposed to Seth Rollins. Because like Seth Rollins is taking it super serious, and Cena's just there doing this smirk and everything, and pushing and everything, and he ends up going to his signature moves and all that stuff. And then eventually Roman Reigns comes out. So yeah, these guys are all going at it, but the whole complexion of this match changed once Braun Strowman is released, and this match was all about Braun Strowman from here on out. It was definitely the most dominating performance we have seen in a Elimination Chamber match since the second one, with Goldberg just doing it much faster, I should add, than Braun Strowman during the second Elimination Chamber at SummerSlam 2003. And Braun Strowman just came in and he cleaned house with everyone. Wow, he was he threw the Miz off of a pod at one point as he was trying to get away, and he was just laying waste to everyone, kicking out of everyone's finishing moves. Taking attitude adjustments from John Cena, or for you Ruthless Aggression era fans out there, remember when it was called the FU. He's kicking out of that. He's taking a 4-person shield bomb, kicking out of that. He's taking Seth Rollins' curb stomp, kicking out of that, and he's got all these dudes laid to waste. There's a point where Elias Sampson comes out, and he didn't even want to deal with it. He tried to eliminate the people that were down, but to no avail. Strowman also he eliminated John Cena with the power slam. Now let me talk about how ridiculous I think this is when it comes to John Cena. This storyline that they were trying to put together with John Cena, where they kept having the commentators constantly talk about how, hey, if Cena doesn't win this, he might not have a road to WrestleMania. What? We've been seeing John Cena, who in the last several years has not even won a Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber to qualify in one of the main championship matches, and so we're all of a sudden supposed to believe that he doesn't win this Elimination Chamber match. John Cena doesn't have a place to go for WrestleMania? Come on now. We are or not... Some people always try to say that when they watch WWE, they feel like their intelligence are being insulted, and I can see why listening to this. We know John Cena's going to have a path to WrestleMania. We know he's going to have a match to WrestleMania. Freaking last year, he didn't have a big championship match. He lost the championship in Elimination Chamber, the title in the Elimination Chamber match last year, and he still made his way to WrestleMania, not to face The Undertaker as he hinted in his promo, but he went on to do some fantastic build-up work with The Miz and Maryse, along with Nikki Bella, and everything. I was actually there live for WrestleMania, as we've mentioned before. The match wasn't too much of anything, but we know what it was. It was just for the marriage. But the point is, John Cena, of course, will have a match for WrestleMania, and if the rumors are believed to be true, it will be finally against The Undertaker. It was just hard to listen to that as a fan, at least as a hardcore fan, knowing that John Cena's going to have a big match. There's no way they're not going to do WrestleMania. If John Cena has the availability, which he does, he will definitely be there. But to get back to the match, and everything here. Strowman eliminates Elias Sampson doing a power slam, another running power slam. He eventually eliminates Finn Balor, who also Finn Balor did what was that? He did a coup de grace to, I think, the back of Strowman, his upper back, neck, or I doubt it was neck, probably upper back, and that was to no avail. Like, Strowman was just a straight up beast kicking out of everything in this. I mean, wow. Yeah, they really were putting Strowman over strong, and once again, as a longtime WWE and professional wrestling viewer, I know exactly why they were making Strowman out to be such a dominant force in this match. Let me see. What are some of the other things that happened? I'm trying to remember. Sorry, I'm giving my initial thoughts after the pay-per-view as I'm trying to think. I know Seth Rollins did a frog splash off the top of one of the pods, and as we mentioned in part one, Seth Rollins definitely earned frog splash in the Elimination Chamber of the night. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big Sasha Banks fan, but definitely Seth Rollins had the much better one of the two here. With that said in mind, it eventually all comes down to Braun Strowman and up against Elias, no, not Elias, but Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. So the Shield brothers basically realize what they have to do. They have to team up against Strowman because this monster of a man, as they like to call him, is just running roughshod through everyone. But eventually, Braun Strowman eliminates Seth Rollins, and it comes down to Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. So at this point, Braun Strowman, man, he's just intense. He takes off the straps, and he is just it's gonna probably sound nasty for you guys who haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure you guys saw it too because you couldn't miss it with the face close ups. Braun Strowman actually had a booger in his nostril, and the booger was like just pulsing out of the nostril back and forth because of how heavy Braun Strowman intensely was breathing. So like I said, Strowman was intense through this whole match. Even just by standing in the pod, he was breathing so heavy up against the glass it was fogging up the pod. But with that said in mind, you have Braun Strowman and Roman go at it here, and Roman basically starts spamming the crap out of the Superman punch, and Strowman just won't go down. And then he does a spear, and Strowman gets up. So then he unleashes a second spear that finally gets the 1-2-3 pin count. And just as we've heard for so long now, about a year now since WrestleMania 33, Roman Reigns, and they had the graphic all set and ready, Roman Reigns will now be going on to face Brock Lesnar. Excuse me, Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 for the Universal Championship, which will be a WrestleMania 31 rematch. I like Roman Reigns. I'm not the biggest fan, but nor am I a fan that dislikes him. I think Roman Reigns is pretty good in the ring. He has definitely had some good matches that I've basically gotten really interested. I thought was a pretty exciting match to watch. But when it comes to the way his character is booked, Vince McMahon, in him sees the top guy. Now, if you ask a wrestling fan like me who have been watching since 1994, and I'm pretty sure from some of you even older wrestling fans out there watching since the 80s or even 70s, and you've stuck with the company, I mean, does Roman Reigns really have what it takes to be the next Hulk Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or even John Cena? Not that I'm saying he should be the next one of those guys, but does he have what it takes to even, match up to that level type of star power? As a babyface, in the way they've booked him and the way they've done this, this is going to be his, fourth WrestleMania straight main eventing. something that hasn't been done since Hulk Hogan? I don't know. No, I'm not gonna say I don't know. I think I obviously know, and most of us do know that. Yeah, he's just not the guy. At least not like this. They definitely have to do something different with his character, because what they've done with him definitely hasn't been working. You could look at the attendance records, the numbers and the ratings, the network subscriptions not being at where they need to be right now. Them feeling like they need to cut out pyro and stuff, all this stuff, just things that are going on that that if Roman Reigns was as big as they're trying to make him out to be, they wouldn't be doing. But with that said in mind, it is Vince McMahon, and as long as Vince McMahon is running the company, this is how it's going to be. The only thing fans can do to stop it, if you don't want Roman Reigns, don't buy the merchandise, don't buy the tickets to the shows, and unsubscribe from the WWE Network, which I'm pretty sure a lot of casual fans are doing. But us hardcore fans, obviously, we love the products too much, and we'll just have to make do, myself included. I still watch WWE I do respect a lot of what the men and the women are doing in that ring, and that's one of the biggest reasons I still watch. I've been hooked ever since Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's I started watching in 1994, but I got hooked as a WWE fan in 1998, and haven't really gone back. Well, obviously, yeah, I did go back to discover more moments that I didn't watch initially growing up. But with that said in mind, I still, do watch the company and everything out of support for the men and women that laid all out in that ring night in and night out. With that said, though, it is what it is. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and we know how the story is gonna go, and that's pretty much what this match was. It was predictable. We knew Roman Reigns was gonna win. But let's get back to what I said about the Nia Jax and Asuka match, because it was very reminiscent of what they did here. So after the match, almost immediately after Roman Reigns wins, Braun Strowman comes in and basically just goes ahead and just destroys Roman, throwing him through the plexiglass and pod, and it ends. The last shot we see is Braun Strowman walking away, Braun Strowman walks out of the chamber, and his music is playing, the crowd's going crazy, and even the commentators are talking about he might not look like it, but Roman Reigns definitely is the winner of this match. So it felt like this whole match was booked to just basically try to make Braun Strowman look as strong as possible before he basically does the job to Roman Reigns, and then afterwards let him go ahead and get his heat back from Roman Reigns. And it's kind of like one of those things, if you're gonna go here, then why do it this way in the first place? If your goal is to make Braun Strowman look like such a beast both before and after he gets pinned, then you might as well just have had him win the match, because it's more of WWE booking themselves into a corner. Braun Strowman, it's like they want to push Braun Strowman, but they don't want to push him past Roman Reigns. There's a saying where sometimes you got to strike when the iron is hot, and they've done this several times, since the plans. Look at how many guys could have probably been the Universal Champion, but they wanted to stick to their plans by having Braun. That's why they had Brock Lesnar beat Goldberg for the Universal title and go on this nearly year-plus reign, and they've had everybody lose to him pretty much with one F5. So that way when Roman Reigns kicks out, it's a big deal. Like, oh man, it's been forever since we've seen someone kick out of the F5. That's why they've had Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar. Beat The Undertaker. I'm botching up like crazy today, aren't I? Tonight. Oh man, it's like 3:20 a.m. in the morning, but I got to stick here through. Still stay strong here through the rest of this review, guys, so I apologize. But with that said in mind, this is what they've been building up towards, and hopefully they've done a good job. To WWE's credit, they've managed to keep Braun Strowman hot in popularity. They've managed to keep his popularity hot with the crowd and with the audience, despite the losses they've had him take. And granted, I admit I wouldn't have been too much of a big fan of seeing Braun Strowman and Lesnar go at it again. I wasn't really impressed with what I saw in the No Mercy match they had. I thought the triple threat match was a little bit better, but it was nothing that really stood out. And that is something I will give Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Their match, despite the build up, it was. Despite the build-up, it did turn out to be one heck of a match, and of course you had the awesome climax of Rollins coming in and cashing in at WrestleMania. So I do think Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar will put on a good match because, as we saw in the match with AJ Styles, when Brock Lesnar is in there with someone that can really motivate him in the ring, you're going to get a good match with Brock Lesnar. So many people are tired of him doing the same old in the ring, but I think this is going to be hard hitting and definitely a good match for sure. I'll give it that based on what we saw WrestleMania 31, and plus the company's going to really want Brock Lesnar to go out there and make Roman Reigns look like $1 million, probably $1 billion, right? So definitely I think we are in for a good hard-hitting match at WrestleMania. And hopefully Braun Strowman can keep his momentum strong because they already did a whole year Brock Lesnar as champion. Who knows what they're going to do with Roman Reigns? For all we know, Vince McMahon's probably going to use Roman Reigns to have a universal title reign that outdoes CM Punk's title reign. But you never know how this is going to go. But with that said in mind, I thought the show was, how do I put it? Alright. It was all right. It wasn't too mind blowing. It really wasn't that much mind blowing a show. It was pretty predictable, usual stuff. But I thought the women's, like I said, overall, I thought the women in part one of this review, I thought the women's Elimination Chamber match was it was pretty good for what it was. And the men's Elimination Chamber, it made Strowman look like a beast. But let's see how far this is gonna take them. And I thought the Ronda Rousey stuff was good, and the Asuka and Nia Jax match was good. So with that said in mind, this has been a review by me and part one by the man 0001, who halfway apparently the show must have been him falling asleep on this review should probably tell you his thoughts on the show. But we will be back with Fastlane, a review for Fastlane in a couple of weeks. With that said in mind, let me go ahead and finish off here with some plugs. You guys can go ahead and follow the man 0001 on Twitter at themann0001, as well as here on YouTube. And make sure here to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that way you are notified whenever I release any upcoming videos. Currently, I do have on my channel reviews for WWE's 25th anniversary of Monday Night Raw, the 2018 Royal Rumble, NXT TakeOver Philadelphia, and obviously, like I said, we will be back with Fastlane. Also, if you are a fan of manga and anime, definitely make sure to check out my reviews for Dragon Ball Super. And on top of that, once again, too, with the if you're fans of manga or shonen manga and anime, I actually do have a movie coming out shortly on my YouTube channel eventually in the coming months. It is called Battle of Deception, and it is very much inspired from anime. So definitely there's a ton of videos I have regarding behind the scenes and teaser trailers, so definitely make sure to check that out. Basically, and you can also follow me on Twitter at SonGoshuaku, like me on Facebook at SonGoshuaku, and follow me on Instagram. Until the next time, guys, take care.